What's up? Hey y'all. Happy Turned Up Tuesday. It's about to be a lit session, I'm telling you. Welcome to Be Great, Good to Great today. What's up?
Hey, Brittany. How you doing, sis?
Great. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. You know, I had to do a little something.
All right. Can everybody hear me? And can people hear Key too? Drop like a yes or something. Type of emoji. I'm gonna just, okay, cool. Thanks, Marcel. Awesome. So thank you all for tuning in to Be Great, Good to Great. We're highlighting entrepreneurs, people that have different careers and how they paved their own path. Today we have the beautiful, the wonderful, the intelligent Kiasha Wood. Let me add in this this pin too. So if you guys want to follow her, it's Key to Glam, right?
Yes.
Perfect. What's up, y'all? And so, Key, thank you for coming on the live today. It's much appreciated. So can you tell everybody like your age, where you're from, and what you do?
Okay. My name is Kiasha Wood. A lot of people know me as Key. And sort of been going by for a while. I am the owner of Key to Glam Salon, where we specialize in hair and makeup artistry. I was born in Joliet, Illinois, but right now I do reside in Chicago. I'm 31 years old, and just some background on some of my education that I've had. I do have a bachelor's in communications. I have a master's in business administration, and I am a licensed cosmetologist from Pivot Point, which is a very kind of prestige school for cosmetology.
So when you graduated, did you go straight into like owning your own salon? Like how was that transition?
Oh yeah, not at all. I didn't even know that I wanted to like do hair, start a business. That wasn't my goal in the beginning. When I was going to college, I wanted to be in journalism. Like, I don't know. It was just, I liked writing, I liked talking. So, which is why I went into the communications field. But it wasn't until I was in college that I did kind of like pick up with hair and makeup. I did like some, modeling. Shout out to Vanity, SIU. But yeah, I did, you did a little modeling, you're messing in makeup, hair, you're getting prepared. So it wasn't until college that I realized, okay, I like this. I enjoy this. This is something that makes me happy. And then after college was when I decided I wanted to go to cosmetology school.
Okay.
Yeah, so I feel like my dad wasn't like that happy about it because like you don't went to college, they done paid all this money for that, and then to go ahead and go to cosmetology school was like, people wasn't doing that. It's like a whole career change. So, but it was what made me happy, and I went with it, and I'm glad I did.
So do you need to go to get like your bachelor's to go to cosmetology school? I know like sometimes people go like trade school or cosmetology
No,
school. So you don't
no,
need that.
you don't need to go to you don't need to go to college in order. You can just have your license, a cosmetology license. But I do think that there is a benefit to having both, because I feel like a lot of times some of the girls that are in cosmetology school, they come right out of high school and go right into that trade school. So at 18 years old, I mean, you don't really know. You haven't really had that experience of dealing with like communicating with, just different cultures and things like that. So I feel like because I did go to college and cosmetology school, it did kind of help to give me, just make me an overall like better like stylist, owner, all of that, just because of the things that I did learn at college. I was definitely able to use into my business.
And did you say you got your background, was that in business?
Yeah, so I have my master's in business administration, and I got that after I went to cosmetology school. So I used to work for MAC. I worked for MAC Cosmetics for about 4 years. And at the time, I was a full-time employee there. And a lot of people don't know this about working for MAC. It was actually a really good company. It was literally like a regular corporate job. You just, I mean, doing makeup and in sales. So me being full time, I had a 401k, I had, all of that. I had benefits, all of that. And so with that, they actually did tuition reimbursement. So me being me, I took advantage. While working there, I went and got my master's and the company paid for it. So it's little things like that that I feel like has kind of like helped to kind of like mold me into where I am. I'm like, I just take advantage of opportunities anytime that I can. I mean, school is so expensive. So it's like any opportunity that I can get to have some help, I was all for it. So big ups to Mac because they definitely helped me out a lot with that.
And so what year did you start your salon or just your business in general? I know, like, when did you start, I guess, saying, like, you know what, I want to do this for myself, and maybe even prior to getting a space?
Yeah. So I had started like working on my business. I will say, like, while I was in cosmetology school, I'm doing hair, I'm taking clients. I was literally working out of my dad's basement. So yeah, I was a kitchen stylist, is what they call it. And even with that, once I did get my license, I was still working for Mac, but I knew I wanted to still get in, with hair. That was my thing. So I actually started working in other people's salons before I, branched out to get my own shop. And I'm glad that I did, because while working in someone else's shop, you can really focus on building your clientele, just growing, with your craft. And I think that's something that people are like, okay, I got my license, or I got this, I'm ready to start moving. Sometimes you need to crawl, before you can walk. And with that, I just really took the time to focus on, just perfecting my craft and getting better at what I was doing. And I feel like that has really helped me into, being a salon owner. But at the same time, I also am still behind the chair too. Like, I'm a stylist as well and a makeup artist. So by doing that, it was a great way for me to be able to market my business because I had built such a good clientele.
Mm-hmm. And do you still own the shop and you work in the shop too?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I love my clients. I have some really, really good clients. Which that can be kind of tough sometimes. I will say that, because it is a lot
Mm-hmm.
managing a shop, owning a shop, because you have to take care of, the business aspect of the shop, and, making sure things are, the Wi-Fi and everything else, and the bills and everything is paid for, while still, getting emails and, phone calls and things like that from clients wanting to book you. So I am busy all of the time. All of the time I'm busy. I don't work on Sundays and Mondays, but on Sundays and Mondays, that is a lot of the time, especially Mondays, where I get a lot of the business stuff together. And I do have an assistant, and she's also my receptionist. So shout out to Abby. She is amazing. So she does help to kind of like keep the business side together for me,
Mm-hmm.
as far as like calling vendors and taking care of things like that. So that helps me a lot, where I can focus on servicing my clients at the same time.
Got it. And so I guess, would you think that, is it easier then to be an employee just in a shop than to like own it yourself? Because I know everyone's like, hey, like, I want to be key, I want to own the shop, right? But are there advantages to just working in a shop instead?
Oh, it's a lot of advantages. I mean, and like I said, everybody doesn't want to be a salon owner. Like, I know a lot of people who are just like, you know what? I love doing hair. They maybe not really into the business of things, and they just love the art of it, because it's an art, and doing hair and doing makeup and things like that. And so it's a lot that you don't have to worry about. You go in there, you make your money, and you get to go home. You don't have to worry about, if something's going to get cut off or paying a bill, or you don't have to worry about that. You
Mm-hmm.
pay your booth rent, you come and go, you set your own schedule. So there are a lot of advantages of, just working in a shop. I I was super, like, when I first got into a shop, I loved it because I could make my own hours. I can work as much as I wanted to. So that you can just build and just stack your money, and you don't have to worry about the overhead costs of owning a building. I mean, of owning a shop. So it's a lot of overhead with, with being the salon owner. I mean, you're buying equipment, you are, making sure that things are staying on, towels, like water, all these other things that come with it. It's a lot. So
and that's
I tell
overhead,
people,
you guys. That's what she's talking about, is everything that's included in the overhead of a business.
yes, absolutely. So I tell people, like, if you are considering, opening a shop, just make sure that you are mentally prepared for that, because it's not just all of this money. I own the shop, I'm making all of this money. It's a lot of overhead. It's a lot of money that you have to put into it before you can even get the shop up and running. If you have people working in your shop, you have to make sure you have a station for them to work at. You have to make sure, with stylists, water, do you have shampoo bowls, do you have dryers? It's so much equipment that goes into opening a salon. So I would definitely say, just be prepared mentally and financially if you are thinking about going into opening a salon.
We got a question. It says, how do you build out the type of payroll to be able to have a receptionist that isn't bringing in revenue? And then, yeah, there's a second part, but I'll let you answer that first.
Yeah. So with my receptionist, she is not full-time. So she typically, because she has another full-time job as well. So she's not like on like payroll as a full-time employee, so I don't have to worry about benefits or anything like that for her, which that is something I am going to be looking into in the future, because she does such a great job. I do want to be able to have her on full-time, but in the beginning, when you're just growing your business, you have to think about, can I afford this? And you want to make sure that you're paying people what they deserve. So with that being said, she is part-time. And then even to say, what was the second part of the question?
The second part is just because she wasn't bringing in revenue. They're not like a revenue generating employee. So like, how it works. Yeah.
But she's needed. She's very needed in the business. So that's, it's another expense, but it's something that helps my business. Like, I would be going crazy trying to do all of this stuff by myself, plus still take clients. So yes, she is a part-time employee, but she's not full-time. So that it's a lot with that, right? I don't have to worry about benefits and a lot of other things that comes with having a full-time employee.
I think that answers the second question. Says, is your stylist team commission based or hourly?
No. So my stylists, they pay booth rent. So everyone who works in my salon is pretty much like independent contractor. So that's what I said, like, while working in people's salon, and every salon is different. Some people do a commission base. Some people do booth rent. I do booth rent because I find that it's just less pressure. I won't say less pressure, but all of my stylists, they are well-on established stylists. They have their own clientele. They've been in, this hair industry for a while. So you don't have to worry about them. They come in, they do their thing, and they have their clients, and they come and go. We all respect each other. But with that, I feel like I get revenue from them working in the shop. But that kind of helps to cover the equipment and all the things that I had to put into the shop. So it's booth rent. They pay a weekly booth rent. So I have stylists, I have makeup artists, and I have lash techs.
Makeup artist. Do you do all of this too?
Yes. So I just kind of started to dibble and dabble into the lash extensions, but me, for sure, I do just the hair and makeup.
Okay. So that was kind of my next question. Do you have to know every aspect of the shop before you hire people? Like, do you have to be an expert in the field of lashes to hire somebody? Or are you like, okay, I know they're doing really well, so then they can come into?
Yeah, no, you don't. I mean, me, myself, I wear lash extensions. So, I mean, what looks good, who's bringing in clientele. Like I said, when you're doing a booth rent for stylists, lash techs, you want to make sure they have their own clientele, because what'll happen, and I've had this happen in the past, you may bring on someone who maybe they're trying to build clientele, but they're struggling to get clientele. And with that, they may not be able to cover their booth rent. And so that's why when you are doing the booth rent, you want to make sure that you're getting people into your shop who are experienced, who do have a good clientele. Because for one, it's going to bring more people into more visibility into your shop. But two, it's just also good to be able to refer and say, hey, I got this great stylist over here. I have this lash tech. So then it's a pretty much like a one-stop shop. You can come in and get hair. You can come in and get makeup. You can come and get your lash.
And your appointment only?
Yes, we are appointment only. I mean, sometimes people do come in and, you know, they can inquire about services. And then if we are free and somebody wants to take them, then yes, we do that. But pretty much everyone's appointment based.
Okay. And so I know a question everybody probably wants to know if they want to own a salon or just own any type of space in general, right? Most people are like, hey, you need the cash, right? Let's say my space costs $100,000. I don't have that lying around, right? So then people are like, okay, what do I go to? Do I do like my personal credit? Do I get a loan? Do I do business credit? So how did you go about figuring out about like credit scores and business credit and you know, those type of terms, which I know you have a background in business, so I know that kind of helped a little bit.
Yes, it really did. It was so much stuff that I did not know, like so much stuff. And I think when you go into something, you kind of like, I know I want to do this. I don't come from a family of like entrepreneurs and, you know, just business owners and things like that. So everything I was doing, I was literally trial and error, learning on my own. And I think the thing with credit and everything is you don't really sometimes you don't even really think about your credit as much. I would say the younger key, until you actually are going to get something. And then you're like, oh, shoot, I wasn't approved for this. And I think that was something that happened with me with my personal at the time. It's like, okay, I think I'm doing good. I'm working in the shop. I'm making all this money. And not realizing that my personal credit was not where it needed to be, because even thinking about starting your business, you don't have any leverage to go off of because your business is not established. So what they're looking at is they're going to look at your personal credit in order to get started. So while working in other people's shop, I took that time to get my credit together. And even with the space, I had to be approved to get that space. You had to have a certain credit score in order to be approved for that. So that was really when I started to like look into that, when I was going to get stuff and I'm like, hey, I'm not getting approved for this. You know, you're getting older, you got to get co-signers for stuff. It's like, who wants to do that? Nobody wants to do that. So that was like, get your stuff together. Like, you can do this, you know? And that was something that was very important for me, was getting my personal credit. And I will say that my personal credit was able to get me into the door for my business. And once I was able to do that, I began to work on my business credit. And I built my business credit from the bottom, and I'm still working on my business credit. But I knew nothing about that prior to going into business for myself.
Got it. So you didn't have any type of mentor or someone to help you to learn about like credit? Like when you got into it, who did you reach out to? What was like your first person? Like, maybe I should reach out to this person, or did you just do it yourself?
You know what? I am an only child, and I am so used to like doing things on my own that it's like a gift and a curse, though. You know what I mean? Where I get like anxiety asking people for help, and I've just gotten at a better place where I work on that, but I take on so much by myself. But I will say, my boyfriend at the time, he had a clothing store, so he has a lot of partners and things like that where I would talk to them about so much. I feel like my boyfriend was actually the one who kind of like pushed me, like, you can be doing this yourself. You know, This is what you got to do. He had a lot of connections with people who had businesses and things like that. So I will say I got a lot of that knowledge and things from just like some of his business partners. And it really helped me on so much stuff that I didn't know. But adding on to that, I also am very big on doing my own research. Once you tell me something though, but I'm like a sponge. So I'm going to take in what you're telling me, and then I'm also going to go and do my own research. And
Mhm.
that's when I started to get really into it. Any book that was talking about, um, just financial stability, anything like that, I was reading books, just learning. And I feel like me going to school for business, that really gave me a lot of insight on a lot of things I didn't know.
Got it. Got it. So we got a few questions. Nate said, "How do you manage personalities of the team, drama, and professionalism?"
I will say yes, that is very tough. I mean, everybody does have different personalities, but I feel like for the most part, we respect each other. You know what I mean? I'm not the type of person like this is my shop and this and that. I'm not like that. Anybody who knows me knows I'm like super chill. As long as no one's kind of creating an environment where people are uncomfortable. And we have like group texts and things like that, or I'll talk to people personally if there is ever any drama, but we're grown.
Yep.
Nobody has time to be like dealing with that. So I think we all just know, like, in the shop is certain things you don't talk about. You don't want to make anybody's client feel uncomfortable or make each other feel uncomfortable. So we just try to keep everything professional, keep the ambiance. Like I said, we have Abby, so we make sure the music is, we're not listening to rap music, cursing, and all of that. So I think that you have to be the example and set the tone of how you want your shop to be ran. And I feel like people respect that, and people want that for their clients too. You
Yep.
want to be professional with your clients, so you don't want that. So I feel like we all just respect each other, and we don't really have any like bumps too many. I mean, and if we do, we kind of nip it in the bud. We don't need to talk amongst everybody. Let's just deal with the problem directly.
Got it. And then Ebony asks, "My mom has been in business for 17 years in healthcare. She talks about the pros and cons of managing multiple locations. When do you know it's time to expand and add new locations?"
Um, I mean, I really just think that is, a personal choice. Um, I don't know if I am going to be like expanding as far as salons, if I want to go into that, because it is a lot of work. But as far as the Key to Glam brand, definitely want to expand with that. I do a lot of things outside of just being in the salon, where I get into more products and things like that, where I sell hair extensions and I make wigs and custom colors and things like that. That doesn't always, I don't need to personally be servicing somebody. It's
Mhm.
it's a product that I can send out and do things like that. So I want to go into more of expanding as far as like products, and things like that. And then also something, I'll just kind of give you guys a little heads up of something that I am working on. I have been in contact with a couple different insurance companies, where I am in the process of making wigs for cancer patients.
Awesome.
And this is something that I feel like it really hits close to home, because my grandma actually died from breast cancer. And, it's just something that I feel like we can do to help people. A lot of times with the wigs that they provide to these cancer patients, they are not good looking. They don't look natural. They look very like wiggy and fake. And so I feel like you can still make a unit look nice, where these people feel like they still feel like themselves, and they do
Mhm.
still feel beautiful. And I actually had a client that I worked with, and I won't name her, but she left a really nice review on my Facebook, my Key to Glam Facebook page, and she talked about her experience, her experience with me, having cancer, losing all of her hair, and I made her a wig, and how that wig made her feel. And it just, that feeling there, it's like, I want to do that. I need to do that more. I need to see what I can do to reach out and help other people. So that's just something that is definitely in the works. So yeah. So
I love that you're doing that.
yeah.
How did you think about that? Or like, how did that start? Was it like you just made a wig for one person who had cancer, and then like, for
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
idea?
And like I said, they were telling me like, oh, the insurance company sends us to these places and the wigs look terrible. And that's, honestly how she ended up coming to me for a wig. Obviously, my wigs are not cheap. Anybody who's bought a wig from me knows that they're not cheap. But I want to be able to, if someone can get it through their insurance company and, you know, it's not, the cost isn't as much for them, I definitely want to help. But also giving away some free wigs. With that, I'm going to try to get some, you know, wigs together and start giving away some free wigs and just kind of giving back. I feel like that's a big thing with, you know, businesses and stuff like that. Yeah, it's, you know, a lot of people are in it for the money, but a lot of times you want to find something where you can help people, whether that's knowledge, you know, whatever that may be. You still want to have some type of, way that you are giving back to your community or giving back to people in need. It's not just about, you know, financial gain with everything. Sometimes it's about really helping people out in need.
How can people get in touch with you if like they want to, or they know someone who is, you know, going through that right now or going through cancer? Like how can they stay connected or like reach out to you?
Yeah, so I have on my website, which is www.keitaglam.com. There is a contact us tab where you can send us. It directly goes to my email address. You can still stay in contact with us through Instagram. I'm also just recently started a YouTube channel. Keita Glam is the name for the YouTube channel. And so it's going to be a lot of that. I feel like even with the YouTube channel, it's not just going to be just hair and makeup. I also want to make it like, you know, a lifestyle channel too, with, you know, showing a little bit more of me, my family, just my everyday. And so all of that stuff that I'm working on and things like that, I'll be sharing with you guys and just kind of like giving you an insight on what I'm up to and what we have in store for the Keita Glam brand.
Another question that we got prior to this that I got in my DM was talking about like, is it hard or easy to have a salon, right? I think even we were talking about this before, like, you know, everything seems easy from the outside looking in. It's like, okay, do hair, I'm gonna make money, it's gonna grow, and that's it. So like, how easy or hard is it to get into this business and to do well consistently?
It's not an easy business. Like I said, coming into the beauty industry, you can do awesome, you know, doing hair. You can be an amazing stylist, amazing lash tech, amazing makeup artist, but that doesn't mean you're going to be an amazing business person. I feel that I know social media has made it seem like starting your own business is so easy and it's so glamorous, but it is not. And a lot of times people who are successful in their business, they have a story, and they may not always display that story and, you know, everything that they've gone through, but everyone has a story as to how they got to where they are. And I know my journey has been very tough. But like I said, you have to, when you're owning your own business, you don't have anybody saying, okay, you got to clock in or you got to do this. You're literally doing everything on your own. So even those times where you're not making money, because maybe for me personally, maybe I just did, you know, 5 clients and things like that, but I still have overhead that I have to pay. So I feel like you have to really have your, sit down and have the numbers, make sure the numbers are adding up, because you can be doing so much and working so hard and you're just breaking even. And that's not where you want to be. So it's not just about just doing hair and opening a salon, but it's really about wanting to grow your brand, bringing on people and building a team that's going to help to grow the brand overall. And I think that is one thing that is very important, that comes where my communications degree comes in place, because you have to communicate things. You have to be able to talk to people, whether it's the people who may work in your shop, the clients that are coming in. You want those people to know that this is a friendly environment. You want to be welcoming to people that are coming into your business. And to be honest, especially in the beauty industry, a lot of us have gotten bad reps about that, like attitudes, not being professional, not knowing how to talk to people. And I think that is something that has, and that, I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, but I think that is something as to why I have been able to be successful, is because I respect people. It takes nothing to be kind to people. People have questions. You just never know. A client asking you all these questions could be one of your longtime clients. I have a lot of clients, they just don't know about certain stuff, and it takes nothing to kind of like explain, and kind of that could, you could be building a really good client that can bring, you know, referrals and things like that. So I just feel like be kind, learn how to communicate effectively, and yeah. So I mean, that really goes into with the business, and a lot of people unfortunately don't have that. They don't know how to deal with customer service and things like that.
With your business, how do you pay yourself? I think you were talking about this earlier, right? You're like, I need to invest in my overhead. I need to invest in my shop. At
Mm-hmm.
what point, or like, how as a business owner, are you like, you know what, I'm gonna invest more here because like I gotta pay the bills, or like, you know what,
Yeah.
I want to make a salary. Especially like for me, I have a 9 to 5 career, right? So like,
Mm-hmm.
if I know I make this every 2 weeks, I'm like, if I'm a business owner, this is what I want to make. But sometimes it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. And I will honestly say that is still something that I am trying to kind of like get a hold of, because a lot of the money that I do make, I don't get to just take that money home. Obviously, I have to still put that money back into the business. But I do pay myself a paycheck every two
Mm-hmm.
weeks. And that is something I just learned not too long ago when I went to do my taxes. My accountant was like, you have to pay yourself, because before I was not. I was literally, obviously I'm paying myself through my clients. I take clients, that's how I get paid. But I mean, like, when I was doing my taxes, everything was kind of together, and it's like you have to be paying yourself out a paycheck for um for purposes of tax purposes and things like that. And it's just, like I said, it was a lot of trial and error. And it wasn't until I actually sat down with an accountant to kind of like see the money I was making, and, you know, if there was an area where I was losing money, what I needed to do to kind of balance it out. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I currently am paying myself a paycheck from the business. And sometimes it's not always like I'm paying a lot, because obviously I service clients too.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I'm making money from taking clients, but technically I pay myself a paycheck every 2 weeks.
Got it. And then that's how you get into the other things where it's like, I'm gonna sell products, I'm gonna do
Mm-hmm.
bring in
And
other.
and all of that is through my business. And, you know, sometimes people are like, well, why I send them to like my website and things like that. But my website, you know, it's text on there, because people don't realize some people are out here just selling products and things like that. And if the IRS catches up with you, that can be a problem. So on my website, everything is text. And right now, even in the store, I'm not selling as much in the store, because I do have to pay taxes on these products. I do have to pay taxes on hair extensions, all of that. So it's just easier to send them to the website in order, even if I do have the hair on site, because I do have to still pay taxes for that when I do my taxes at the end of the year.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. And so, if you had to do this all over again, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you do differently than what you did now?
I definitely would have tried to seek out a mentor, somebody that I admired, somebody that was going in the route that I wanted to go. In the beauty industry, it is not as nice as that. I feel like it's a lot of people who, they can be intimidated by somebody coming up, and you may not even be where you want to be, but if they see potential in you, sometimes it can be like they want to kind of shut you out. They don't want to give you too much knowledge, because it's a competitiveness. And I'm just like, I never understood that. So I would definitely try to maybe reach out, because I think I did reach out to someone and they kind of shunned me a little bit, and it really like discouraged me not to do it. Like, why did I do that? I can do this on my own. But it's like, a lot of people who are very successful at what they do, the one thing that I've heard is, I had a mentor. I had someone who kind of took me under their wings and kind of like showed me the ropes. And even if you don't go the exact route, some of those things that are like trial and error, you can learn a lot. Like, I wish that some of the things that I went in that I didn't know, someone could have said, hey, Key, like, if you do this, this could maybe have helped me get a little bit further sooner. So I would definitely say a mentor, reach out to people. And when I say mentor, you know, people are doing stuff and people got to make their money. They got to make a living. So no one's going to just give you all the game and you know what, and you can just take it and run. It still has to be like you're putting in that time to really want to learn, as well, because I have had some people who have like, maybe reached out to me and I'm like, I want to help them as much as I can help them. But I can only help a person as much as they want to help themselves. Because I get a lot of people who say they want this or they want that. And when you try to help them, they really don't want that, or they don't want to put in the time that it takes to get to the level that they want to get to. So I definitely would say get a mentor.
Okay. And so Yasmin asked, do you mentor anyone now?
So yeah, so I have one of my makeup artists in my shop. Her name's Keys Beauty Touch. She used to assist me with weddings and things like that. And, you know, she was 18 at the time. And, you know, she's a great makeup artist and just wanting to get in the business and things like that. And she was so scared originally to kind of like get into a shop. And I remember just having this conversation with her, and now she's in my shop. She is making money. She is a young makeup artist and she is building her brand. And I have these talks with her. I'm like, I'm so proud of you. We talk a lot about just kind of like setting up your business properly. And like I said, she's like a sponge. So that knowledge, she takes that and she runs with it. And you know, people like that who want to help themselves, I'm always open to like helping them. And it's not ever to, that's one thing I never want people to feel like it's a look down. And it's so bad in our community, like the African American community, that you know, when people are helping you, it's not to try to like, oh, I'm one up on you. No, it's to really help you. Like you can grow, you can do so much. And like I said, me wishing I had that, I want to be able to give that to other people, because I mean, I don't know everything, but I've had a lot of knowledge in my journey too that I can share with other people.
Okay. And then what about, I know you're talking about your taxes earlier. Is there anything that you would do differently in that area to prepare? Like I know people do a lot of personal taxes, but like as a business owner, what do you do to prepare? Like, do you just keep all your expenses, all your invoices? Like, do you put everything in one place throughout the year?
Yes, and that is something that in the beginning you're not doing. And when you go and you sit down with an accountant, you're going to find out like, oh, I've been doing this wrong the whole time. So what I was doing, and you know, I can honestly say this is what I was doing, but I had a business account. Obviously, when I started the business, I had a business account, but I don't know why, I was just kind of scared to put money into the business account. So I still was like buying everything with my personal account. And so when I went to do my taxes, or even if you go to try to get a loan or anything, they are looking for the statements from your business. So you don't really have anything. So how are you going to maybe get a loan or get any type of funding, any type of credit? And you can't even show that your business is making money. Or money is coming into your business or money is coming out of your business. So I really had to get to a place where I had to separate my personal things that I was maybe buying, like I would just buy myself personally, and things that I was buying for my business. And with that, I had to make sure I'm keeping all receipts, make sure that I am keeping all of that separate, so that if I am going and I have, you know, a lender or credit looking at me, they can say, okay, we see that you have this amount of money coming in. We see that this amount of money is taken out, and that they are able to, you know, just being able to have those statements. It's very important. And I don't think that people realize the importance of having a business account.
And then what, yeah, as when she said, you definitely put me on getting business credit.
Girl, it's a lot. And like I said, it's when you do kind of get into the gist of it, it's like so much stuff that you don't know, that it's just like so intriguing to get more information about it. And I have had people who I've worked with that have helped me with my personal and my business credit. a lot of this, I also seeked out professional help with my business credit because, like I said, I don't know. I don't have people in my family that were doing this. So with that being said, they definitely helped me in building business credit to the point where now I have gas cards when I'm, driving and I'm paying for gas going here, there to different locations. I'm using my gas cards, or if I have to purchase things for the shop, I'm able to purchase that with company cards and things like that. So I'm still growing with that, but it definitely has helped me in a lot of ways.
Got it. Has quarantine affected your business at all? I know, like, especially in the service industry, right? Like, a lot of people are being shut down. You can't
Yes.
contact. So how has that affected you? And, like, how have you, like, pivoted or did anything different now?
Yes. I mean, obviously my shop is completely shut down. Nobody's working. It's no money circulating through there. But, kind of being an entrepreneur, you kind of get, it's not just like where I can just go and crawl and, be depressed about it. I can't. I have to figure things out because I still have bills. I still have things. And yeah, they're doing a little bit of relief and things for COVID-19, but I still got to make sure that money is coming through. So one thing that I have been doing is, I still have my website. So I have a lot of clients who are purchasing hair, which I have a lot of clients who purchase hair through me when I do their hair. So obviously they're not getting their hair done, but as soon as this is over, they're going to be making appointments and right in the shop. So I've had to discount some of my hair, but it's brought actually a lot of revenue, just giving 25% off. Also making wigs for clients. We've been in the house for so long, but a lot of people still have to go to work. And, if their hair is not done with a unit, they can just throw it on and off. So with that, I am making money from the hair because all of my units, I do use my hair to make the units. And then also I charge for actually my time making the unit. So I've actually been having a little bit of like, income coming in. It's nothing compared to what I'm used to making, but I am making do while taking this time to kind of like apply for grants. It's so many grants out there for like small business owners and, doing what I need to do to make sure that when we come back that my business is still standing.
I never thought about that for having wigs because even like, working virtually, you're going to be on video calls all the time. You got to wake up and look presentable. And if it's like, I'm going to do my hair just for a 30-minute call or something, it's like, let me throw on a wig. And
it's like a lot of my clients, I will say, my clients don't do hair. They will straight up tell me like, hey, I do not know how to do no hair. So if I'm not doing their hair in the meantime, they, it's a struggle. So I try to do that. And even with my wigs, I try to keep them where they're still natural because I will say a lot of my clients, they are very conservative with it. So the second you say a wig, people are like, yeah, you think of your grandma's wigs and stuff like that, but wigs have evolved and it's not like that anymore. So like I said, I know women are wearing them and you can, some of them you can take them off and put them on, just keep your hair braided up under there and you good to go. You can be out of the house with a good wig and like, shoot, 10, 15 minutes and your hair done. So it definitely has a lot of benefits for people.
Okay, Don asked, who did you use for your business credit help?
I have to actually look into that. I don't actually know the name of the company. I want to say it was True Bill Credit, but don't quote me on that. I'll get you the information and then we can link that. But they definitely helped me. Now, the thing I will tell people, it's not a quick process. I technically, like, I've had my business for a while, but technically with everything set up properly, it's been since 2017, like where I really went on like I'm getting my business credit together. I'm getting, my LLC, getting everything together. It was in 2017. So when I really started working with the company that kind of helped me with my business credit, that was probably over a year ago. And it's still not where, like, it's still, you may apply for something and not get approved just because you don't have enough trade lines. You don't have enough like vendors on the, on your credit report yet. So it is a lot. I will say some of my little small victories that I was so excited about. I was able to get an Amazon credit card
Hey.
I was able to get approved for $5,000, which everybody buys everything on Amazon. So a lot of stuff, like say if, hey, you needed to get a new stylist in there and you don't actually have the money to buy the station, but you know that getting them in there, you can make money off of it. So it's like, with having that Amazon credit, you could go online and maybe buy some of the equipment that you need and then get people working in there, and then you can just pay it off. So I just think that with the business credit, you just have to learn how to use other people's money to make money for you. And I think that
Right.
is so important for people to know. Don't try to go into debt using your personal credit and running
Yep.
up your personal credit to build your business. Like, you want to really try to build your business credit so that you can keep those things separate. Keep your personal and your business separate. So if anything were to ever happen to that business, you can still carry on with your personal life. You know what I mean? So, and I think that that's something that people don't always think about. They'll get all these loans and they'll do all this stuff and use their personal without even, a lot of people don't even know anything about business credit, to be honest. And I know I was one of those people. So, definitely, Don, if you want to talk about it more, girl, call me anytime.
We also have someone, it's a guy named Mac. He's coming on the live on May 3rd, but he can help build business credit like to 100K plus too. So that's what he does.
Oh,
He's been doing that for years.
yeah.
And so he's going to come on and kind of break those tough concepts down too. So, but I
Oh,
know there's,
definitely. I
people that
definitely will
can,
be tuned in.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. So we got another question. What's your greatest entrepreneurship win so far?
Um, Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, I will say, like, even just kind of like getting my shop, because you guys got to understand, I didn't, the space that I am in now is a lot bigger from the space that I originally started out in. I was in about maybe like a 700 square feet, and maybe not even that big, to be honest. It probably was smaller than that, but it was a very small space. And it was myself and then two other stylists that were in there to, when I came into an opportunity to grow my space and, just get a bigger team, that was kind of intimidating, because it's like, okay, I only have two people that work for me. How am I, obviously the rent was so much more. It's like, how am I going to be able to take on this space and I don't have the people to fill the space? So when I did get approved for the bigger space, I did not have the people that I needed in there. And you know what? I did not let that discourage me. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to promote my business. I'm going to, get the shop the way I want it to, the way I want it to present it. And I worked my butt off for that. And I will say I got my new shop in August, and by December I was like fully staffed, where I was able to pay the rent plus make money off of just having people work in the shop. So that was major to me. So then it was like all the money that I was making, I was able to, that was a profit for me, because the shop itself was being covered by the people that I had working in there, and it also was still able to still pay me. So yeah, that was a big reward for me, because it's like, you go from this smaller shop to this bigger shop, and you don't know how you're going to do it, but you do it, and it's a beautiful thing to even just kind of see. And I know I have a lot of people who've been following me for a while, and they were there, they saw that they had been to the other shop, compared to when they walk into the shop now. We got a nice receptionist desk, and it's just so pretty and it's spacious.
Where are you located?
I'm located in Lacuna Lofts, so that's 2150 South Canal Port. So it's a very like creative building. So you can pretty much come in there and get everything done. They have obviously other salons and things in there. They have tattoo artist Nine Mag from Black Ink Chicago. They're directly under my shop. So it's a little bit of everything. So it's definitely a creative space. So it's a cool building to work in.
And then another question we got is, what type of grants for small businesses have you been applying for?
So one of my good friends just sent me the, what is it called? The relief. I don't want to tell y'all the wrong thing. I'm sorry, but it's like a oh, I should have had that up. But it's a
I can.
okay. I applied for this company called List. They have a grant coming out where they have teamed up with Verizon Wireless, and they're giving away, I believe, 10K to business owners, and they're really focused on female entrepreneurs. So I applied for that. The other one was it was an SBA loan.
I have
The
for
COVID,
that.
yeah, one of those I applied for. Shea Moisture, I just saw it. They haven't put up the application process, but they're helping out, you know, small businesses. Essence has one with like Pine Sol that they've kind of put out there. So I've been applying for everything. And then one of my friends also just sent me one for just a small one for licensed cosmetologists, just to kind of like help with food and bills and for licensed cosmetologists. So I applied for that too. So anything out there I was applying for. And but I will say with those you do need to have like a business license for it. So or some type of like LLC, you know, corporation, things like that. So that was something that it really did make me proud. It's like, okay, well, I do have all my business affairs in order where I can apply for these grants and, you know, different loans and things like that.
Man, Key, you got all the keys.
I am trying. I'm still, like I said, I'm still learning a lot. So this is a ongoing process for me. This isn't, I don't kind of like do this to brag or try to think that I do know everything. I can only speak from my experience and the things that I've gone through. But I'm still growing. I'm still building. I'm still trying to figure things out. I ain't got it together. I ain't where I want to be, but I'm working towards that for sure.
All right, I'm trying to ask you these 3 questions in 9 minutes because it cuts me off.
Okay.
But, what programs or other opportunities have you used that maybe you can share with people on here? Are there any like programs or anybody you connected with or anything that you've used during your time that like you think people can like use or reach out to, or is it just you self-learning?
Yeah, a lot of stuff was self learn. I mean, just YouTube videos, you know, researching a lot of things like that. Like I said, I will definitely get you guys the company that kind of helped me with my business credit. I also have a guy named Opulent Credit, and I've tagged him on some of my stuff when I've posted like my personal credit scores and things like that. He has really been great with helping me build my personal credit. And I don't want it to make it sound like I'm a one-man team or anything like that. There are, you know, I talk to people and have conversations with people, but a lot of the stuff I have just done research and, you know, just reading books and just kind of like just gaining knowledge through reading. So
it's funny you said that because literally in a lot of these interviews underlying or these lives, they said like reading is knowledge. All this stuff is passed in books. Like everything is in books. It's funny. It's like people keep telling you.
Yes.
Keep telling you it.
I'm telling you, I love reading a book, and it's really about changing your mindset. Like a lot of the books I read, they're not always like financial books. They are about changing the way you look at money, changing the way you think about finances. And so when you do that, it does kind of help you to kind of like gravitate through this with everything. So it's just a mindset thing.
Okay, and the last question, how I usually like to end these lives is, like you said, everything is a team effort. No one is self-made. Who's being great that you know personally around you that's influencing you, or maybe is your support system, or like who's someone that, or any multiple people that you want to shout out right now that's being great personally in your life?
Yes. So first off, I do want to shout out everybody that does work in the Key to Glam Salon. We have Laid by Lay 19, which I think he's going to be doing an interview on here too. Yes.
He'll be here
yes. I also have another amazing stylist, Hair by Mina. She is like bomb. I know a lot of you guys follow her. Some of the lash techs we have B dot lash eye extensions. I'm sorry, B lash dot eye extensions. B is an amazing lash tech. She's doing a lot of branding and things for her brand too. We also have Auntie Gorgeous, and she has a YouTube channel too. She's a bomb makeup artist and she does lash extensions. Like I mentioned before, my little baby, Key's Beauty Touch, which is the younger makeup artist in my shop. And then of course also Abby, who is my assistant slash receptionist. So I do want to shout them out. I'm just going to say this really quick because I do want to kind of like give a little plug. I also want to, you mentioned like somebody that you're inspired by and kind of keeps you going. I will say, and this is not to be shallow, but my man has really, really inspired me in so many ways. Like I mentioned, I'm an only child and I am very closed off about talking about things. And I feel like he is the one person that hears all these trials and errors that I go through and, you know, and pushes me to do better, encourages me. And I just want to shout him out because he does work in corporate and he's killing it right now. But he also has his own business. He is the founder of his own music label, Tunnel Vision Music Group. And right now they have 8 artists signed to their label. So they got a lot of big stuff coming up. So I just want to say, you know, watch out for them because they got some stuff coming out. And so I'm just so proud of him because he's actually killing it. He's taking care of home with his corporate job, but he's also, you know, doing what he loves on the side and is, you know, building that brand as well. So I'm very proud of him.
Well, I thank you so much for coming. You literally dropped so many gems, so many, like, you see how many people stayed on the live for the whole hour. And like, I always tell people it's really tough to stay and listen to things for an hour based on our attention span and things going on, all the little challenges and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming on, sharing this, talking about your journey, the ups, the downs. And again, I know we got 4 minutes, but how can people reach out to you if they didn't hear about it earlier?
Yes, so they can reach out to me via Instagram at Key2Glam. They can always check out my website, www.key2glam. You can also check out my YouTube channel. I am definitely plugging that, where you can get a little bit more insight of me personally. And so it won't just be hair and makeup, but a lot more insight into my personal life as well. But I do want to say thank you so much for having me, Brittany. Like, you yourself are super dope. I was just telling my boyfriend about you, like, you know, just all the dope things that you're doing, either when you're traveling, with business wise. I'm very inspired by you. So when you reached out to me, I was super excited about coming on. So thank you for having me. You know, keep grinding, keep, you know, sharing these experiences and, you know, kind of helping people grow because it is so much money out here. And if we use our connections to build with each other, we can all get to it. So
we can. Yes. We can. Shout out to Delta Beta on here too.
Yes, I see all of Delta Beta.
Yes. So thank you so much. Yesterday I had some problems saving the live, so hopefully it saves today, and then I'll post this, and then I'll share it with you as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.